La Flèche Wallonne. It finishes on the steep Murder-Wee 2.5 minute climb. Julien Alaphilippe has been the master of it the last few years, the world champion. Not coming in as the favourite today. There's Jonas here for Jumbo-Visma, Pidcock, Danny Martinez for Ineos. No Roglic. He's recovering from some sort of knee injury that bothered him at Basque Country. A non-threatening breakaway went up the road. Managed pretty comfortably. The only news, really, Pidcock getting dropped early, Pogacar having a mechanical, not stressed, came back easily. This race is all about the final climb. Simon Kerr attacked on the second last ascent of the Cherave climb and began like a 20-minute odyssey bridge across to the breakaway with Ineos not too bothered whatsoever. On the second last ascent of the Murder-Wee, the break was reduced to 4 with Impey and Army Rail. They do 3 ascents, finishing on top of it the last time. Pogacar curiously at the front of the race on the first ascent, but then it chilled out. Even with these crosswinds, Remco moved up, nothing happened. Carr eventually bridged across that breakaway and would attack it shortly afterwards with Bahrain. Caruso, Haig, Turns, Pole's strong puncher squad for this race, with Turns looking good at Flanders and Brabantse Pijl. Pogacar here at the front of the race on this descent actually, I think, dropped his chain with 13Ks to go. You see it in jam, trying to hit the left shifter, trying to get it back on. Eventually does, and then G is looking at Cofidis like, what are you lads doing on the Côte de Cherave? They did like a full 3-man lead out. They've got Lefay as their main man, but this was for Rochas trying to spice up the race. Again, Ineos didn't care. Rochas, I think it was, went clear. Amaury, Van Sevenot for quick step, but just sort of thrashing about in no man's land. He did similar stuff in Andalusia, and he actually is bridged across to by Søren Kragh Andersen, who was held out of some other races that, or didn't participate in other races that suited him, and then in a race here that he really just can't win, trying to cajole Amaury into helping him, but Van Sevenot's got Alaphilippe behind, so there's no way he was helping Kragh Andersen. And they had a decent gap, like 17 seconds with 3Ks to go. Israel started to pace for Mike Woods, who's their leader here, with 1,400 meters to go. It's 11 seconds. This is where Tratnik, I think, attacked last year. Eventually, Amaury would help out when he knew they were being caught, and it's actually Movistar who positioned themselves the best going into the base of the Murder-Wee. Valverde's about third wheel. It's Carlos Rodriguez in front of Danny Martinez. Benot's the Jumbo rider. Alaphilippe's a bit further back with Pogacar just behind his left, and Dylan Turns, the only Bahrain rider in shot, is the one that's going to move up very quickly onto the front of the race. He knows, or he wanted to, clearly stay at the front of the race for the entirety of this Murder-Wee, and it's Enric Mas ducking up the left-hand side who is going to do a really good job. Like, Mas punch you saw on Valdepeñas de Jaén in the Vuelta last year, much improved, or it's just back to maybe its best ever level, and he showed that again today, going on the front and absolutely drilling it, with Valverde actually not in shot. It's Dylan Turns who's got onto his wheel. Vlasov had entered the Mur in bad position too and had to do a big effort to catch up, but they recover a little bit here. It's not quite as steep at this point, and Bala actually moves up ahead of Martinez with Lefay following him and slides neatly onto Mas' wheel here. And Mas sees him and then starts to actually pick up the pace as they get into the steeper 13-14% section. Guerrero there for Education First, Mollard, Villarmoz for Total Energy. Pogacar trying to slide up the left-hand side. He's actually not making much headway against the pacing of Mas, who isn't done yet. This wasn't just a short pull. Mas pulled this group until like 300 meters, 350 meters to go. An incredible pull, and the order hasn't changed. Mas, Bala, Turns, Vlasov, and Alaphilippe was quite deep at this point. He's behind Lefay, in front of, or just behind Pogacar as well, and he wasn't moving up very quickly, particularly when it's hard to, when Mas is launching it. He sees Bala is still there. They go past 300 meters to go. He's eventually going to be done, and actually Valverde just increases the pace but doesn't want to go just yet, opens up this gap in the middle and Turns jumps through it, accelerating. He seemed to, it's almost imperceptible. There was no real point where, Turns attacked after this. After that surge, he just sits on this heavy pace for the rest of the Murder-Wee, gapping everybody. Alaphilippe having to go around a dropping Pogacar, who was the favourite in the betting markets for this race. Vlasov dropping further. Alaphilippe can't make it up from 75 metres to go here, and when Bala tries to come out of the wheel of Turns, he can't. He has to sit back down without even drawing, fully level with Turns, and as the flat section commences, Turns just keeps on top of that huge gear to be a very, very surprising winner of La Flèche Wallonne. surprising in that he was very long odds in the betting today. People didn't expect Turns to win, but of course, hindsight's 2020. He's got pedigree for this race. He's come third in 2017 in this race. But in hot conditions, he's never actually been as good. Like last year, this guy won the hardest, or like the Queen stage of the Tour de France, stage 8, the day Pogacar took 3 minutes. He won that stage from the breakaway Dylan Turns. He was good in Brabant. He was good in Tour of Flanders. And he was better than Bala here, winning easily. Still a fantastic performance from Valverde, nonetheless, coming second with much needed points for Movistar. But Turns wins, ahead of Valverde, Vlasov third. He was good on Cullera as well in the Vuelta last year. Alaphilippe fourth, Danny Martinez, Woods, who'd be a bit disappointed with that sixth, I think. Then Guerrero, Mollard, Buggy, Villermoz, and Pogacar not making the top 10. But yeah, pretty stereotypical Flèche and how it played out. But the winner was surprising. No Jala. No Roglic here, and it's Bahrain who keep winning big one-day races. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you with the Liège-Bastogne-Liège recap on the weekend. Ciao.